Again, I'm Logan Nakasone.
I'm Noah Etlick.
I'm Winston Chuck.
I'm Nainoa Hayashi.
And I'm Logan Soriano.
We are part of the Planning and Environmental sections for the airport's engineering branch. Today, our presentation will be on an advanced air mobility project. This project is still in its preliminary phases, and everything we present is still subject to further technical analysis and outreach with stakeholders.
This is our eVTOL, Electric Vertical Takeoff and Landing Vehicles in Hawaii project created by us in the Hawaii Department of Transportation Airports.
Though beautiful, Hawaii's unique geography offers challenges for accessibility, transit, and traffic. Increased logistic costs cause vital goods and services like travel and groceries to be more expensive and often delayed. Additionally, emergency service response times differ drastically depending on where you live on what island, and this difference can mean life or death in some situations.
Here at HDOT, we have goals of increasing safety, improving energy and food security, and increasing job opportunities while lowering the cost of living. As a state, we have set targets to be net zero emissions by the year 2045. With these major ideas in mind, we have developed a feasibility study to implement advanced air mobility here in Hawaii, with the goal of improving transportation efficiency and providing a backbone for improving community safety and resiliency.
So electrical vehicle takeoff and landing vehicles, or eVTOLs, are a very versatile and efficient form of transportation. These vehicles enable safer and also quicker travel than other modes of transit, and can expedite the movement of cargo and also people. And additionally, in the face of certain natural disasters or emergencies, they can provide support to remote areas that might need evacuations or resources during a disaster.
As the FAA is continuing to integrate and push the evolution of advanced air mobility, eVTOLs will be an integral mode of transportation for short-range air travel. But how does it compare to the average engine-powered helicopter? We have based our design and project referencing the Joby S4 eVTOL, which is one of the leading manufacturing companies in eVTOL engineering. We chose the Joby eVTOL because, while they are not yet approved by the FAA, the S4 model is engaged in a multi-stage testing program with the FAA to ensure that their model meets their uncompromising standards. This multi-year process, in conjunction with the FAA, makes the S4 model the forerunner for eVTOL implementation here in Hawaii.
Now, eVTOLs offer several advantages over fixed-wing aircraft and other engine-powered helicopters. As you can see in this video presented by Joby, it shows that their eVTOL is much quieter than the average helicopter, with noise levels capped at 65 decibels within 300 feet and 45 decibels at 1,500 feet. With that being said, when the eVTOL is flying at 1,500 feet or above, it is very unnoticeable. And as for the helicopter, at the same distance of 1,500 feet, it's at 70 decibels. And that's like turning on a blender while you're in bed.
The most significant advantage of these eVTOLs is their zero emissions. Despite the initial cost for charging infrastructure, the long-term cost actually beats out aircraft fuel and helicopters by a significant amount, as well as contributing to Hawaii's important zero emission goals. eVTOLs can also travel faster than many fixed-wing general aviation aircrafts at 200 miles per hour, and significantly faster than most helicopters at 150 miles per hour. They combine the speed of a fixed-wing aircraft with the vertical utility of a helicopter. Now, while the eVTOL payload is only less than a third of the average helicopter payload, battery technology is advancing as we speak, so it is reasonable to assume that this gap will close significantly in the coming years.
eVTOLs are an excellent solution to our statewide transportation problems. We created a 107-page feasibility study on how to implement eVTOLs into Hawaii's aviation system. As part of this process, we researched public policies, planning ordinances, design frameworks, considered environmental and cultural concerns, incorporated public feedback, and created a phasing plan to implement our eVTOL proposal starting from the year 2027 to 2045.
For this project, we have studied 23 vertiport locations across 6 Hawaiian islands. A vertiport is similar to a heliport, but it is designed to accommodate both eVTOLs and powered lift aircrafts. Of these 23 vertiports, only 19 of them are recommended in our final plan's recommendation. Most of these recommendations are located on airport property and utilize existing infrastructure. The remaining vertiports are strategically planted across the islands based on community needs and connectivity. The proposed fleet size will slowly grow to 60 eVTOLs total, consisting of 40 cargo vehicles and 20 passenger vehicles by the year 2045.
As this project is massive, spanning 6 Hawaiian islands, we plan to phase the construction and implementation from 2027 through the year 2045. The first phase of the project will take place on Hawaii Island and will implement cargo and emergency services, connecting major agricultural areas with urban centers. Additionally, this phase will implement solar farms at DOT airport locations as part of our clean energy goals. The second phase will expand cargo and EMS to 5 neighbor islands, Maui, Lanai, Molokai, Oahu, and Kauai. The third phase will introduce commercial passenger use to the Hawaii Island vertiports. And finally, the fourth phase will expand this usage to the rest of the neighbor islands.
In terms of negative impacts, the frequent flights of these eVTOLs could distract from Hawaii's very scenic and beautiful landscape, and some communities may face increased noise and vehicular traffic around high-volume vertiport locations. With the high-volume eVTOLs flying, there's also a small risk of mid-air collisions, but with advanced radar technology that is being further developed and strong guidelines that are being put in place, the chances of this happening are in fact very minimal.
And the biggest positive impact is quicker emergency response. Although the tsunami last week Tuesday posed minor threats to Hawaii's coastlands, it still serves as a reminder of the need for emergency services during and after disasters. As many of us experienced firsthand, the roads were very congested, which made it hard for first responders to reach those in need. If a tsunami were more severe, causing heavy flooding, cut off roads, and restricted access, eVTOLs can quickly respond by transporting people and resources, especially to those in remote areas.
In places with limited access to healthcare, like Molokai, eVTOLs can move patients, transport healthcare providers, and deliver medications to or from the island. Having eVTOLs can improve emergency services by providing a network of advanced air mobility that is responsive to the needs of all communities in Hawaii. Another improvement is less degradation of our highways infrastructure from the wear and tear of heavy cargo trucks. eVTOL cargo can transport the same cargo more quickly and efficiently. It can also provide greater accessibility to rural areas while also being a more sustainable option for travel. This project also brings more long-term jobs to Hawaii in the form of eVTOL pilots and operators, creating sustainable career opportunities and supporting the growth of the local aerospace and transportation industries.
Though more studies and cost estimating are needed, our initial estimated cost for the vertiport network is at least $750 million. Our estimates include vertiports, hangars, cargo facilities, chargers, vehicular parking, solar farms, and utilities. While this presents a steep initial cost, it generates numerous construction jobs across Hawaii, supporting local workers and businesses throughout the building process. Additionally, it represents a long-term investment in the state's transportation infrastructure. The careful allocation of funds across various phases make the expense a worthwhile investment.
To pay for the initial costs of the project, we plan to apply for discretionary and non-discretionary funds from multiple federal institutions, such as, but not including charging grants from the Environmental Protection Agency and the Federal Highways Administration, as well as construction grants from the Department of Transportation, FAA, and NASA. The project will garner income through the leasing of properties for the eVTOL operations of passenger and cargo use, as well as through fees for charging, landing, and parking on HDOT property. For the eVTOL operators, the approximate cost of each aircraft is $1 million as of August 2025. Carriers like Hawaiian, Mokulele, Aloha Air Cargo, and even Matson or Young Brothers will be valuable operators for these eVTOL operations. We also propose a public-private partnership with energy companies in order to create sustainable energy sources for vertiport operations and sustainability improvements at each airport.
From this presentation, we hope you will see eVTOLs as a potential benefit to Hawaii's transportation problems. Again, this is all preliminary research and is still subject to further analysis. Thank you to our mentors, Tracy and Susie.
I'm excited. The judges' questions, comments?
On average, space for a vertiport, like 1 acre, 3 acres.
To put down just a vertiport, it's 130 by 130. That includes safety zones and whatnot. But it will also need more space for safe takeoff and landing areas as well.
So how much can you carry in one of these EV?
So in passengers, it can carry 4 to 5 passengers, including the pilot, and in weight, 1,000 pounds as of right now.
Is there anywhere in the world that this is being used right now?
Yes, so Japan is on the cutting edge of this. They're already making a lot of test flights and almost approval with this because Toyota is investing a lot of money into these eVTOL companies. As well as here in the States, Ohio is actually really far along with their advanced air mobility project, as well as Florida has done a lot of research on approval and policy where this to take place.
Do you see any opportunities to partner with Japan to have them come and participate with this, here?
The range issues are definitely present. So if Japan as a carrier would want to operate vehicles, then that could be a discussion. But as far as making flights to Japan, that's not.
I just meant for them to come and bring this technology here.
Yeah, there
They're closer.
definitely could be partnerships.
Just one more question. In terms of, you just mentioned range. So what is the range when they go from, so you're looking at inter-island travel?
Yes, right now, the battery life of the one that they're approving is 150 miles of range. But right now they're working on one, and it's been tested already with 500 miles of range right now. So that can go from Kauai to Big Island pretty safely.
She's coaching me on the questions. You started out with the Big Island. No, you're good on that part. But why? Why the Big Island?
We wanted to pick the Big Island. It has a lot of space for us to build and test these things, and we want agriculture use, cargo to bring goods across the islands. Flying from Kona to Hilo, that is a long drive for cargo trucks. So this could make it a quicker transportation and less degradation of the highways and the roads there.
So it's EV, so I'm really interested in the EV part of it. So you're gonna have to have like a solar farm to be able to provide the energy necessary.
Yes, we're planning to implement and build solar farms, especially on the Big Island, because Kona has so much space. We could build a pretty big solar farm in that area to charge these eVTOLs and the airport as well.
So the acreage you need would be for solar farm and for the.
Yes.
It takes about 1,200 square feet of solar panels to charge each of these vehicles, which is not a lot of space considering the amount of space available at Kona Airport, for example, so it would definitely be feasible to implement enough solar panels to charge these vehicles constantly.
First off, I just want to say I appreciate the fact that you have thought about the southern half of Hawaii Island. That's my district. We don't often start there, so I appreciate that. The second thing is, you had mentioned that there is federal grant funding that you could potentially draw down. Is there an estimate on how much money you can draw down from some of those spaces?
From past equivalent grants that I've seen, there was a project on Maui, and then there was a project on Big Island, I believe, several years back that got similar grants from Federal Highways Administration. Those were about $40 to $50 million for each of those grants. But they can allocate quite a bit more money if the project necessitates it. I've seen projects in the hundreds of millions getting grants from these organizations. However, the federal cost share can only be 80%. So there will be other ways of financing it as well.
Any other questions, comments? I really appreciate that you guys didn't even know, but you're playing to 3 beyond incentives from so you're perfect. Four, that's right. Four. And I also appreciate that you guys are looking at political time frames. You didn't put something on 2035 when the governor's gonna be out of office. So appreciate all those. Please, time for everybody.